Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. In MMA and UFC news today, UFC Vegas 57 took place last night, and undefeated Shavkat Rakhmonov submitted Neil Magny with a guillotine choke in the closing seconds of the second round. We can expect to see Shavkat climb up the rankings after this win and be potentially facing a top 5 opponent next. Daniel Cormier gives his thoughts on Adesanya's fight with Cannonier and how much he believes Isreal has a huge advantage because of the fighters he's put away.
He embarrassed Paulo Costa.
No,
and then when
100%.
He embarrassed Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa fell down face down. Izzy jumped on top of him. It was crazy. Like you can't do anything stupid with Adesanya. And I believe that Jared Cannonier, as in tune with himself as he is today, is not going to make any mistakes against Adesanya. And I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. And I'm happy that he looked at Dana. He goes, Dana, I'm the number one contender.
Yeah.
Dana's like, all right, man, you got it.
Nothing you can do.
You got it. All right.
And you know what?
I see you after that. You got it.
Dan Hardy speaks about Dana White not respecting Nate Diaz in the interview he did with the Mac Life recently. The retired Dan Hardy has had several issues with the UFC in his tenure with them post-retirement. He recently did an interview with Submission Radio where he discussed fighter pay, and those that are under contract to fight in the UFC should be getting paid more. He also addressed White's comments about Nate Diaz and how many difficulties the UFC has had with him over the years. Nate has been calling out several fighters, but so far they haven't been able to come to terms. Khamzat Chimaev and Dustin Poirier were on Diaz's list of potential opponents, but so far the only rumor is possibly the trilogy with Conor McGregor. Dana White recently suggested that Nate go and fight Jake Paul in boxing, and that's the fight that makes sense. Here's Dan Hardy's response to Dana.
I saw the thing about him, winning one fight in 5 years, and maybe the best person to fight is Jake Paul. It's just unnecessary disrespect. It's one thing when you get fighters disrespecting one another, because that's kind of a part of the business. But when the promoter starts shitting on people like that, and someone like Nate Diaz, who's a cool icon, it just looks bad. I don't think it's good for anybody, and I think Nate deserves a lot of respect for who he is and the character and the fun that he brings to the sport. I mean, I didn't think for a second that he was going to beat Masvidal, but that fight week was bouncing. It was great to be in New York. It was a different thing. It always is when a Nate Diaz fight's happening. He's one of the superheroes of the sport, and he deserves respect. And he also deserves a pocket full of cash, same as most of these guys do.
Brendan Shaub also spoke on the Nate Diaz UFC contract situation and says that it's next to impossible to get out of. Many have tried, and anything short of retiring, you almost always have to fulfill the number of fights left, which Nate has won, and then you can be released.
I think the best case scenario you're not getting out of the contract. One of the reasons why the UFC is the UFC and these other leagues can't really compete is because the UFCs have the best lawyers. Their lawyers are second to none. Those contracts are airtight. There's nothing getting in, there's nothing getting out, there's nothing you can do about it. And also the way it works, for you guys, sure you should know this, a lot of people say, well, just let Nate go, or how come Nate can't just get out of the contract if you're not going to fight him? Well, the way the business works is if you have a fight left on your contract, they usually try to negotiate before you have one fight left. Nate decided not to do that, so he has one fight left. Now he has to contractually finish the one fight before he can move on. But there's a caveat to that. If the UFC offers him fights and he turns them down, I'm not saying he's done this, I do not know this, but if he turns down a fight, that prolongs his contract.
Phil Hawes comments on why he tried to get Daniel Cormier's attention after his win at UFC Austin. Recently on an interview with SiriusXM, he talks about what he said to Cormier.
How it works fighting, matchmaking in my mind works, right? For most fighters in the UFC or any big promotion or small promotion, you look at fighters and you try to match yourself up with them. You try to say, Dean, you're a fighter, okay, who's in the top 10? Okay, this guy's style, he's missing this and missing this. I can beat him there and there. So now, taking that part, me and DC, we have dinner in Abu Dhabi on Fight Island. My manager at the time, Danny Rubinstein, hooks it up. So we're having dinner. We're cool. He showed me wrestling techniques and things at the table, just bonding. You know what I mean? Like, this DC, 2-time weight champion, Olympic hopeful. and then he's talking about, hey, come to AKA, we'll train, get some work in. So in my head, I'm like, all right, dude, this is cool. We're gonna train together. I'm gonna get better, learn from him. Then a month or two later, I see Deron Winn is booked to fight me, and in my head, you know, as a competitor, I'm like, okay, Deron Winn is DC's protege. That's his guy. There's no way he's gonna sign off on a fight without DC saying, hey, yeah, this is a good fight, let's do it, you know?
He goes on to say that he didn't think about what he was doing until it was too late, and he saw the expression on Cormier's face. That seemed to jog his memory of who exactly DC was.
I didn't, in my visualization, I didn't visualize that far. I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. You didn't know what was going to happen, huh?
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of forgot that he was DC the fighter, you know? I thought I was going to talk to DC the commentator. You know, I didn't plan on him bucking up too. So then I'm like, oh wait, is something about to happen right now? Because I just didn't thought. Like, no, but no, I didn't. I figured what happened would have happened. We would have talked, and that was going to be it. I didn't think we're going to throw blows in the octagon. You know, I'm not trying to get fired on my day off. You know, so yeah.
Were you thinking about taking a swing at?
Ah, man. I don't
Get at him, and you're both fighters. I mean, I'm wondering.
I mean, if he would have threw, I can't just pull guard. I can't jump guard, you know. But no, I didn't think about punching DC. That didn't cross my mind. I thought we were just gonna scream at each other, kind of.
Daniel Cormier talks about who Khamzat Chimaev should face next. Some believe Khamzat should face Nate Diaz. Others say he should fight someone in the top 5. Coincidentally, DC echoed the sentiments of the very fighter that called Khamzat out on Twitter recently. Let's check it out.
What I believe Khamzat should do, because the UFC should push this, because the UFC needs him and Islam, those guys, to fight in Abu Dhabi. I think you put Khamzat versus Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad has a style that at times can be a bit less than entertaining. By putting him in there with a guy like Khamzat, it almost guarantees that he has to fight, because he won't just take Khamzat down. And when he was forced to fight in the last fight against Vicente Luque, he showed new wrinkles to his game and showed why now Belal Muhammad is a true contender at welterweight. So I think put him in there with Belal Muhammad in Abu Dhabi for that region. A guy like Khamzat is massive.
Gilbert Burns shares some hilarious training footage. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news today, and we'll see you in the next video.